We're back with album review.
Let's go.
We're doing Zach's pick this week.
I picked Dirt by Alice in Chains.
Let's go.
Another artist that
second
Yeah,
Alice in Chains album.
Yeah, another artist that you've done an album review on, or Artist of the Week back in the day.
Yep. I mean, we've talked about Alice in Chains before.
Yeah.
I will say about this album in particular, I think that the consensus from a lot of people is that they like this one a little more than the self-titled one.
Yeah.
I could just tell that people like it more, but I get it. This album is pretty good. It's got a lot of bangers on it.
This album was on the Billboard 200s chart back in the 90s.
What did it chart at? What did it peak at?
No,
by chance.
Trying to find that now. I'm going through.
Because this is another grunge album. I've been listening to Nirvana recently, so I could talk about how, like, grunge was huge at this time when this album came out because of Nirvana's Nevermind.
Jesus Christ.
Not saying, like, they were the first or that they were the best or anything, but they put grunge on the map for the general public, and people loved this shit.
Dude, they had 5 singles off this album.
Holy shit, yeah.
This was a big success.
This was probably one of their most successful albums, too, for sure.
Iron Gland? That's the untitled one.
Oh, that's what they called it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's Tom Araya from Slayer vocals on it.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that, though.
Yeah.
So,
Shall we just
let's
jump
just
into
get
it?
in there. The first song on the album
Probably one of my
is
favorites.
Them Bones.
Might be my favorite, honestly. It's one of my favorite Alice in Chains songs in general.
It's one of the best Alice in Chains songs.
Yeah.
So good, yeah.
Fantastic way to open the album. This is one of the songs I knew before listening to this album.
Yeah, I think everybody's heard that one.
Yeah, it slaps, too.
I love that. Damn That River.
I like...
This
yeah.
is great.
I enjoy this one.
Yeah.
This is like another great song.
Mm-hmm.
Rain When I Die has the best fucking riff on this album. Don't question it.
It's pretty good.
That
is
is
got a
pretty good
fucking
riff.
sweet. The next big song is Down in a Hole. I think it's about Lane. Just like, I think he's talking about his death. Like he wants to die or some shit.
Yeah, very dark album, too, for sure.
Down in a Hole is another one of those hits off the album that I've definitely heard before.
So, it
was,
listening to the full album.
I think Rain When I Die, Down in a Hole, Rooster, Junkhead, Angry Chair, and Wood were the only ones off this album that made it to the Unplugged.
Okay. I have not listened to the Unplugged.
Which is a lot of the Unplugged.
A majority
okay.
of it is Dirt. Like a majority of
Yeah.
it. Like this is how big of a deal this album was.
Yeah.
Sick Man. Sick
Yeah.
Man!
I
Dude,
like
that
Sick
was
Man.
I like Sick Man, too.
I love Sick Man. That's one of my favorite tracks on the album.
This
I like
was
it a lot.
Nuts, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have another banger, The Rooster.
Oh, Rooster is another one of my favorites.
Rooster is a classic
Yeah.
Vietnam song.
It's
Well,
about
Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
it's
yeah.
about Jerry Cantrell's father.
Okay.
Jerry Cantrell's dad
As he
was
wrote
a-
it about.
He was a Vietnam vet,
Mm.
and he was nicknamed the Rooster.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
So it's a direct reference to Jerry's dad.
Yep.
Damn. Very powerful song, too. Probably one of the
very
most
good.
powerful, like, deep songs on this album, too.
Yeah, man.
Very good. One of my favorites, for sure.
One of my all-time favorites is Junkhead.
I do like Junkhead a
Junkhead's
lot.
fucking nuts. It's a drug song. It's about Lane doing drugs.
Yeah.
Like they have a line directly referencing it where it's like, it's about people who go to college to try and study the effects of drugs on people, and Lane's just like, nah, just do it, and then you'll know how I feel. Literally take the drug, and now you'll understand,
Mhm.
because you can't study it with a book.
Yeah.
And that it's a direct jab at like the society at hand trying to contemplate and reconcile with people doing drugs.
Especially because this is during the war on drugs. Like, this is when it was kind of at its peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next is Dirt, the title track.
I do like the title track quite a bit.
I like the
It's
title
so
track.
great.
You know, it's actually one of my I like the whole album. Dirt is actually on my towards the lesser half of the songs.
I kind of agree. But
yeah,
I still like it.
because I love the first half of this album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is where that change of pace comes in, where it's like slow, 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 and then all of a sudden it's a banger,
Mm-hmm.
and then the ending. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Godsmack. Now, is this before
I think this is before the band.
I was gonna say.
This is definitely before the band themselves.
What do you bet this is where they got their name from?
There's a chance. But I do really enjoy this song too. It's another one of my personal favorites off the album.
Right. Here's the song. It's untitled on Spotify.
Yeah,
But-
and I think on the album itself it's also untitled. if I'm
Iron
not wrong.
Gland.
Yes.
Iron Gland. That's the song that features Tom Araya.
Yeah, on here there's not even any words written for it, so yeah, it's still untitled on here. But yeah, what's this song about again? It's a short
It's-
song. It's like an interlude. It's a mini
Yeah,
It's
song.
just an
Here-
interlude.
On the numbers, it goes 9, 10, nothing is in 10.
Yeah.
And
That's
then it's
interesting.
11.
It's
Yeah.
untitled.
So, yeah, what's the context behind this song? Is that something to do with the Rodney King riots? if
Yeah,
I've heard?
so at this point in time, it's 1992. They're recording in like Northern California, and a lot of shit went down after the Rodney King riot. So like people were raiding small stores and like burning buildings down and shit. And the band was kind of like freaked the fuck out, so they bounced out for a while and moved in with Tom Araya. And Tom was just like, "What kind of music are you trying to record? I want to try and do something with you." And this is where the untitled track came from. It's just a spoof. It's just something that they were like fucking around with.
Yeah.
The uncontrollable element of noise that they had to deal with. It was kind of like a shit storm.
Yeah. So what's after the untitled track?
After Untitled is Hate to Feel.
I like
This
Hate
one's
to
a
Feel.
great one. This is a really
Yeah.
good one. I don't have too much context for Hate to Feel, but Angry Chair,
Angry Chair. That's a really good one too.
I remember hearing this for the first time and was like blown away.
The
This
chair is angry.
very.
Mm.
And there's a single for it of Angry Chair, and it's a chair sitting in a very dark lit room. It's orange, and there's melting candles on the chair. So I feel like it's a weird like reference to childhood punishment, like sit on the chair.
Yeah, I can see
Oh,
that.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
And it was also featuring Layne Staley on guitar.
Ooh,
One of
okay.
his only like few features on a
As a
guitar.
guitarist, okay.
Yeah, he's primarily known for being the vocalist, but
Yeah.
on these two, Hate to Feel and Angry Chair, he wrote those songs
Oh, nice.
on the guitar.
Okay.
Oh, also, it was number 26 on the 100 Greatest Metal Albums of All Time.
Yeah, because Alice in Chains compared to the rest of grunge that I've heard, they're very metal. Like they're very metal based.
Yeah, they're different.
My personal
That's why I
opinion.
like, that's out of the big four, that's why Alice in Chains is my personal favorite, because they are different from the others. Like,
Yeah.
This is a hot take and a personal take for some people. They are not a grunge band.
Yeah,
Like their
I can
first,
see that.
their
Yeah.
first album was grunge, but this album and onward is just like totally fucking different. They were definitely a metal band at this point in time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Releasing commercial performance. They were
So what's after that?
they peaked at number 6 on the Billboard 200
with this album?
with this album.
Wow.
5 singles and it was number 6.
Holy shit.
That's a
After
lot.
Angry Chair.
After Angry Chair.
Would.
Wood, the closing track. Probably the biggest hit off the album, honestly.
This song was dedicated to a guy named Andy Wood, who was the singer for I forget what the grunge band was called, but the band Temple of the Dog
Okay.
with It's Just Pearl Jam with Chris Cornell.
Oh, okay.
That was a tribute to the same guy too. He died of a heroin overdose.
Mm.
And
Okay.
I forget what the band was, but Andy Wood was the lead singer. He dies, and everybody in the grunge scene was like really depressed because they knew the guy. And so this song is a whole dedication to Andy.
Yeah. So let's give final thoughts real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. My camera was about to die, so we
the bed! It's shit!
yeah, we swapped cameras real quick. So we're gonna start over on final thoughts. So final thoughts on the album?
Final thoughts for me. I personally still like the self-titled album just a little more,
I understand.
but I understand why people like this one a little more as well, because it definitely got some more hits on it.
Mhm.
It,
for sure.
I think it's got a lot of meat on it. I still love this album though.
Here's the
like I
best-
said, like while doing the during the technical difficulties, I think I like all the Alice in Chains albums, like all of them. I like everything with Layne Staley on it. I think is great, from the first to Jar of Flies to the Unplugged, which is still the best Unplugged.
Right.
Like
Still
I
gotta
just
listen
still think that Alice in Chains is like you said, they're not really a grunge band, but if they were part of the big four, they're my favorite.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm gonna edit my response. All Thriller, no filler. That's
Okay.
definitely this album, 100%. They feel more of a metal band on this album than anything that I've listened to, and
Yeah.
with the scene being the way it was back in the 90s, like this was a big fucking deal. This album was huge.
Huge.
So I feel like this should be like a seminal album everybody should listen to if they're dipping their toes in grunge.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Like, this is a mandatory album.
Yeah, I agree. This is my second Alice in Chains album I've listened to. I haven't listened to all their stuff yet. I've only listened to the self-titled and this one. I definitely like this one better. Like, I liked the self-titled one. I gave that like a 7, which I still think it's good. This one just has a lot more standout songs, a lot more bangers on it. I don't know if it's more of a heavy sound than the other one. I'd say, yeah, it's a little heavier sounding, but they're both like their own subgenres of metal in a way. Like that one's more like sludge metal and like more like slower stuff.
This is alternative metal.
Yeah, this is like an alt metal kind of like just kick ass one.
Yeah.
And it's a great album. I highly recommend it. As someone who's been listening to a lot of grunge recently, I say, yeah, go for it. It's fantastic.
Hell yeah.
I would not pass this one up.
Now, I don't remember what I gave the self-titled album in terms of score.
I think you gave it an 8, if I remember correctly.
I will bump that up to a 9.
Whoa!
And I'm gonna give this an 8.
Okay.
Because I think I love the self-titled a little more, but this is also fantastic, and I think 8 is what I'm gonna give it.
Okay.
So
I think I'll agree. I'm gonna give this an 8. Very good. What holds it back for me is like some of the songs just like don't stick out to me a lot, but like a lot of it's fantastic. So many good songs. Maybe a 9. I honestly might have to edit this rule, but like we don't do 0.5s, but this is like an 8.5, I'd say. But I'm gonna stick with an 8 for now.
Here's a positive
you
upset.
can't do it now.
Here's a
Not yet.
here's
Yeah,
a
not
positive upset. 10 fucking
Oh shit.
10.
Okay.
This is a fucking banging ass album.
Yeah,
Anybody who likes like heavier music but doesn't want like death metal, or like they're not into thrash but they want something that's fun and heavy and old school, this is the mandatory like listen. Everything on this album is perfect. You can skip a few songs and it'll still be a perfect album. Hands down. Like this is penultimate.
So
I do enjoy
I
this.
have predicted what the episode was going to be this week.
Yeah.
Let's
gosh,
see if AJ
shit.
is going to stick with his choice or pick a curveball and punch us in the face.
So
Fucking send it.
what do you guys think I should do? Should I stick with what I'm gonna pick so that you guys figured it out, or should I change it?
Should we upset and do the new trend?
What's the new trend?
Well, like we've been getting back into the heavier stuff. Should we do something like that, or
I mean, this album's a little heavy for
Hey,
its
man.
time period.
I love this album, so like,
Alright, you know
I've never
what?
listened to it in full?
just
Alright, fuck
pick
it.
it,
We're
bro.
doing it. We're doing Van Halen's self-titled album.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
That album
This,
kicks-
just like with you with this, that one is my personal favorite Van Halen.
I
album.
understand what you
Okay.
mean.
God.
Yeah.
I might like 1984 like a little bit more, but I understand why you like Van Halen 1 more.
Yeah.
Wait, so this has Spanish Fly? Interruption?
It has Eruption on it. I don't know if
Okay.
Spanish flies on. I haven't listened to it in a bit, but it's a fantastic album.
Banger. Word up. We got this one in the bag, boys.
Yup.
It's so fucking good.
All right, tune in next week. We're gonna look at Van Halen.